that shit was cap, right? Peep this. Now y'all tell me, why is all of these major companies, bro? We talking about the pushers and movers of the, you feel me? Of the shits. Why are they leaving? Oh, all of the major stores in San Fran is closing down. Yo, the Disney store, bro? Like, the Disney store's leaving? Yo, I really want y'all to think about this shit, bro. This is not normal. It's time for us to really pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on around you and your surroundings and shit. And wait up! Y'all
Yo, I'm
remember
no
this?
conspiracy theorist or anything, but check this out. So I saw this video.
Did you see they just did some weird law with house insurance in California? Yeah, they removed house insurance out there. State Farm is pulling out of that market. I don't feel like something massive is going to happen.
And not even 2 minutes later, this text message pops up. Pause to read.
Y'all thought that shit was cap, right? Peep this. Now y'all tell me, why is all of these major companies, bro? We talking about the pushers and movers of the, you feel me? Of the shits. Why are they?
Well, and
issues,
atmospheric
and it's-
rivers are a different type of storm.
Yeah.
It's not just rain and snow. It's big
Wind.
impacts. So if you live on the
Very
East
targeted,
Coast,
too.
I would say it's
Yeah,
kind of like
and it's
thinking about a
days.
nor'easter.
Yeah.
You know how everybody on the East Coast, they hear that word and all of a sudden they get triggered
Yeah.
because they know it's going to be a big deal?
Right.
That's how folks on the West Coast act when they hear AR or
Yeah.
atmospheric river. Their ears go up. They know
Yeah.
exactly what it means. I mean, my parents live in California and they already are talking about the level. They're like, oh, this is an AR number, blah, 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 blah. They know the whole thing.
Yeah.
And they're not weather people. And it's because it's a part of life. It's a part of life, especially during, of course, the season that we get these ARs.
Yeah.
And we're looking at bigger impacts for California in comparison to the Pac Northwest.
And you think about the duration of these events. It's the hours and hours that make it such a big event. Not every storm that hits the West Coast is an AR, but this one is an atmospheric river, and the moisture originating near the Hawaiian Islands, so it's a warmer source. These can be about 250 to 300 miles wide, and they travel a good 3,000 miles across the Pacific, slam up against the coastal range, wring out the moisture, and then boom, you've got a setup like this. And when you drive a driving force, that engine, if you will, I like to call it the main engine. Look at that beautiful swirl there, Jane Britta. That's like the engine just saying, okay, come this way. It's going to point all that moisture right up into Northern California, Washington, Oregon today. It is spreading the wealth, but as it slides down to the south, it's more of a targeted event, which is what
Right.
makes it so dangerous at that point.
They call it the fire hose,
The
right?
fire hose.
So you are going to see that rain that gets kind of pushed into the coastal ranges. We have flood watches that are already up, and this is going to take us through the end of the week. So not only are we going to tack on, especially in the coastal communities, 3 to 4 inches of rain,
Yeah.
we also have at the same time high wind warnings
Right.
and wind advisories that are up for these areas. So you're talking the landslides and the mudslides and the power outages that's going to come with this storm that's really already taking on some unstable conditions. I think of San Diego.
Yeah.
They're still in recovery and cleanup from just the start of last week.
Right.
With historic rain there.
And you look at the video on the side, San Clemente, there at the end of Orange County before you get into San Diego County, where hillsides and homes are still on, they're nervous because all of that is collapsing.
And that video, that's interesting to me. I didn't know that they were able to do such mitigation like that.
Massive
It's pretty much the only
projects.
thing that you can do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
'Cause there's gonna
double
be a home at the
fold.
top.
You're trying to stabilize the hillsides. The tarp helps with that, but also with the rain coming in, the rain falls on the tarp, not the hillside.
Shalom, shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in this gospel, broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. As you witness, this is a video that the first video I played was basically a video of these businesses that was closing up in San Francisco and parts of the Bay Area and just Cali in general. Now, what really stood out was the fact that all the insurance companies have up and left, I believe, like the last year or two or so, even down in Florida. Okay, and if you notice, California's been getting hit with all types of inclement weather. As we know, we just had massive flooding about a week and a half ago, when literally it looked like some shit from Beirut. Okay, it literally looked like the river or the ocean was pretty much in coastal land, so to speak. Speculation came that those storms came from the sewers. It's like almost like as a levee, if a levee breaks, like down in New Orleans, it's like a cusp or a bowl. You break the levees and then the water floods in on the city. That's what it looked like would happen in Cali. Okay, as we know that the elites have been mastering this program, HAARP, and they have something which is called geoengineering and Geostorm, which is a movie that came out in 2017 called Geostorm. I think Gerard Butler was in it, if I'm not mistaken. But basically it was about him being an astronaut, and the elites had this space weapon or this program in the form of a virus that they can cause storms in different parts of the world. Okay, and it's no coincidence that these insurance companies are packing it up and leaving California, man. So obviously they know something that's coming, but they're not saying anything, because since when does an insurance company pack up and leave for no reason, especially when they're set up to rip people off? Okay, so that's kind of suspect in my opinion. You know, these billion-dollar corporations, these insurance companies, and they're leaving because there's going to be billions and billions of dollars of damage if in fact this big earthquake does hit. Now they're talking about something about a pineapple storm, which is going to bring in flooding, rain, all types of shit. And then I read also that they are moving because of the wildfires, because the wildfires have been crazy over the last 4 or 5 years or so. But I don't even think that's the reason why they're leaving, due to the house fires. Okay, I believe that the big earthquake is coming. Okay, because it's a movie that came out, I think back in like 2015, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that, called San Andreas. It had The Rock in it. All right, and also you had a movie called 2024 with 2012 with John Cusack. And basically the poles shift, and then pretty much the world was just like in a calamity type phase when the poles shift, and basically North Pole became South Pole type shit, and you had all types of inclement weather. You had tsunamis, you had earthquakes, and that movie San Andreas, I think they got hit by like a 9.6. So I looked up, it says the big one, California earthquake. And it says, someday the Mojave section of this fault is expected to unleash a massive earthquake to rival any other Los Angeles pass, dubbed the big one, up until at least 7.8 magnitude, which that's light. Okay, we're talking about 8, 9, okay, on a Richter scale, which is considered by the geological surveys a megaquake. It says this earthquake can wreak havoc on much of Southern California, potentially toppling buildings or triggering widespread evacuations. And one thing about earthquakes, when earthquakes pretty much happen, then you're going to have tsunamis that's going to hit inland, because you know they're right off the coast of the Pacific. You know, and then you're going to have other fault lines that's going to erupt and cause major earthquakes in these other cities. Because believe it or not, America is like one big fault line. You know, and this is why we say, like, when the destruction come, this place is going to burn for a long time, because you have all types of gas lines. You have fault lines everywhere. And I mean, it's just like America's one big goddamn booby trap, you know. So this thing is getting ready to go down. So it says here, it was an article that came out back in 2015. It says the earthquake would devastate the Pacific Northwest. And also it says from panic to preparedness, the big one California earthquake, which this article came out June 6th of last year. Okay, so let's go here and read it real quick, just like just get a couple of paragraphs, nothing too deep. But this is just my speculation. I mean, I could, you know, it's just my speculation, but we do know that the scriptures talk about earthquakes in diverse places. And I mean, they've been talking about this for some time. And we know California is very known to get earthquakes, but one that hit right in the middle of Los Angeles, I mean, the dead is going to be innumerable, because I believe Los Angeles, or the state of Cali, or Los Angeles itself, have over 10 million people. Okay, it's a pretty big state, pretty big city. All right, so it says here, no one can predict, but certainly when the next massive earthquake, aka the big one, will rock Southern California. But research suggests it may be sooner than we previously thought. It says the disaster preparedness experts worries that Californians are underprepared for a colossal quake, particularly when it comes to insurance. And notice all these insurance companies got up and left because they know that this shit is coming or something is getting ready to hit. It says, because the large earthquakes don't happen very frequently, many people don't think about them often or fully comprehend the risk. Okay. It says the state's biggest provider of residential earthquake insurance. It says Pomeroy notes that most Californians live within 30 miles of one of the state's more than 500 active faults, including those that have been newly unearthed. It says with nearly 40 million residents, California ranks as the most populated state in the country. It says the big obstacle can be yourself when it comes to earthquake preparedness. It says a communications manager at the Southern California Earthquake Center. Yep. It says that according to the study published last October by geophysicists at Caltech, NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, the last significant earthquakes in the state were Southern California's Twin Ridgecrest quakes in 2019. It says the quakes expose a web of 20 previous undiscovered small earthquake faults that contribute to the Ridgecrest event. In addition, 6.4 magnitude and 7.1 magnitude Ridgecrest quakes and more than 100 aftershocks strained the nearby Garlock Fault. It says, when a study was released, Zachary Ross, an assistant professor of the geophysics at the California Institute of Technology and the study's lead author, issued this warning. It says, we just can't assume that the largest faults dominate the seismic hazard if many smaller faults can link up to create these major earthquakes. So basically, a lot of smaller earthquakes can create more bigger earthquakes. Okay, so it says, of course, all this research doesn't prove the big one is imminent, but when it does occur, it promises to be an epic disaster. It says the big one as a quake at least a 7.8 magnitude along the southern part of San Andreas Fault. It says the quake will be 44 times stronger than Southern California's North Ridge earthquake in 1994, which caused 72 deaths, 9,000 injuries, and 25 million in damage. Okay, it says in 2008, a group of scientists, engineers, and others predicted a big one will lead to more than 1,800 deaths, 50,000 injuries, and 200 billion in damage and losses, man. Okay, and you notice why those insurance companies, they left, man. Okay, it says, why don't more California homeowners buy earthquake insurance? One significant reason, it says the cost. In 2019, the annual premium for residential earthquake coverage from the CA averaged $727, but for policies and other insurers, the average annual premium was $874. But on top of that, the deductible for a homeowner's policy from the CA ranges anywhere from 5 to 25% of a home coverage amount. For example, 5% deductible for a covered home at $500,000 would be $25,000. But with that deductible, if you filed a claim to cover $80,000 in earthquake damage, that will be approved. Its proved payout would be $55,000, and that would leave the homeowner on the hook for $25,000 to fix the damage, man. Okay, so all these insurance companies, they got up and they left. Like I said, that's very, very suspect. You know, so hey, we just have to wait and see. But just my personal opinion, honestly speaking, I believe that this big one is getting ready to hit any day now. You know, whether you know, people, they may scoff at it, but this shit is overdue, and this is the Lord's judgment. All right. So anyway, let's get a couple of precept here. This is the book of 2 Esdras 9:1. It says, and he answered me and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and what thou seest part of the signs past, which I've told thee before. And these are part of the signs that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai showed his prophets, the things that come in a time before the Messiah returns. It says here, then shalt thou understand that this is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. It says, therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people of the world. And hey, we had that earthquake that hit what was that earthquake? It hit fucking country was that, man? It was actually at the beginning of the I think it was like at the beginning of the year. I think it was in Japan, if I'm not mistaken. You know, but then you had tsunamis right after that. Even in California, you had the ocean tides that was leveling over into the beaches, man, washing people away. Okay, and those waves can get up to 100 feet high. It can literally be a wall of 100 foot or more wave coming and sweeping people. And if you get hit with 100 foot of wave, all that pounds of pressure from the ocean, that'll kill you, man. You know, because honestly speaking, if the Most High was to send a tsunami through there to hit inland, That whole ocean could swallow that whole state, because believe it or not, Cali is just one particular state. The Pacific is huge. Okay, if the Lord wanted to flood this whole country by bringing the ocean on the land, the Lord can literally flood this whole goddamn country, man, with the ocean. But he said he wasn't going to do that, but instead he was going to destroy it with fire this time. Okay, but it says, then should thou understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, the end is manifest. Even so also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. Okay, and these are part of the signs that Yahweh Bashimi Hawashai told us to look forward to. All right, so matter of fact, they left Florida too. The insurance companies. Insurance company, they left Florida too. You notice Florida and Cali, which was the two states to be in, for real. You know, it says here, State Farm announced in May that it will no longer take on new home insurance applications in California due to historic increases in construction costs, outpacing inflation, rapidly growing catastrophe exposure, and challenging reinsurance market. So basically, they want to protect the investment. They robbed you people for your money. Now they bailing out on you. So if you basically buy a house in Cali, it's like buy at your own risk. And I'm sure it's like little insurance policies you can get, but they're going to be hella expensive to the point in California, the average house may go for fucking 5, 6, 7, maybe $10 million for the average house. And as we read in the article, you're paying out 25 bands or more just to cover your home, which would give you $500,000 in coverage. But if you got a $10 million house, they're going to mark those prices up. So you ain't going to even make half the money or get half the money to repair your home. So basically people are getting up and they're leaving Cali like, the hell with this, you know, which, hey, it's a smart move in my opinion. Okay, now is not the time to live in Cali. I mean, we got brothers out there, of course, and the Lord is going to provide for those brothers regardless, because he's going to, take care of those brothers out there. But regardless, you average people, you're through. You know, and part of me see that when judgment happens, like on the East Coast and the West Coast, I see that a lot of more brothers are moving inland more, you know, coming more towards like the, like the South or maybe the Midwest, you know, because you got a lot of state camps out just around the country, period. So, you know, brothers may be making an appearance in your state soon, possibly. Who knows, you know, or Midwest, brothers may have to go east or west, you know. But, hey, nonetheless, here in the Midwest, hey, Missouri, they're on a major fault. I think we on the New Madrid fault line, which I believe connects to the San Andreas fault line. So if the San Andreas gets hit with anything of that magnitude, you better believe that the New Madrid is going to get hit too. And me personally, I think Kansas City is going to get hit with a big earthquake too. You know what I'm saying? Probably like 7 or no. If we get hit with a 7, 8, this city is through, bro. It's literally a done deal. You know, so people that live in them skyscrapers and shit, hey, a lot of people going to be buried under that rubble. There ain't going to be nothing nobody can do to help them. All right. So anyway, this is the book of Revelation 16, and I'm going to start at verses 18. And it says, and there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake. And we know this is talking about those missiles. Such it was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake and so great. And the great city, which is America, was divided into 3 parts. And the cities of the nations fell. And great Babylon came in remembrance before Yahweh to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. Because when those missiles hit, it's going to cause earthquakes. It's going to cause fault lines to erupt. And this is why Babylon is going to be split in 3 parts. Okay, you got the east, you got the Midwest, which is connected to the south, and then you got the the west. So America is basically going to be broken up into, divided into 3 parts. Matter of fact, let's see if I can put up a depiction of that. America broken into 3 parts. And they're probably talking about, they probably thinking about some Civil War type shit, but no. And I know this doesn't really depict what's happening. This is like the division between the people, with the beliefs and stuff like that. But if you can just imagine, matter of fact, let's see if I can do this. I want to want to try something real quick. Bear with me, brothers. America split into 3 parts. So let's say if I do this right, bam, I screenshot that, and let me get this right. Now I can use this, and let's just say here you got. Let me get a color real quick. Let's use red. All right, bingo. So okay, you got this right. You have the Midwest and the South, and then you got the East Coast here. Bam. Okay, so you got 1, 2, and you got 3 parts. Matter of fact, or we can do it this way. We could draw a line here. Bam. That cuts this off. That's the Midwest, and then you got here. Bam. So basically, broken into 3 parts. So you got 1, 2, and you got 3 to split down the middle. You know, and you can see it that way because, like I said, the Midwest. This is considered the Midwest here. This is the state of Illinois. You got Indiana, you got Ohio. This is considered the Midwest here. This is like the Midwest, okay? This is the South here. This is South. This is the Southeast, and this is the East Coast, and then you got the West Coast. You know, but the Midwest split right down the middle, and then you got the East and the West that give you 3 parts. And we know the missiles are gonna do that, but hey, if this great earthquake hits Cali here, then I could very well see that this whole thing from fucking Washington to Oregon to Cali all the way down here can actually split and fall off into the ocean. And I'm just using my imagination because we don't know how the Lord is going to do it. But we do know that judgment is getting ready to happen. Okay? And it says, and a great city was divided into 3 parts, which is talking about when the missiles hit. It says, in parts of the city of the nations fell, and great Babylon came in remembrance before Yahweh to give it to her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found, which is talking about these governments. Okay, and this is going into when the missiles hit. So, yeah, it's going to get real graphic out here, man. People are already turning up, man. This Civil War shit, which that's smoke and mirrors down at the border. But nonetheless, you do have, like, some instability down there. Okay, motherfuckers running into each other and running into cop cars in Ohio, and they getting out shooting. I mean, people are getting ready to really lose their fucking minds here. You know? Last precept, and I'm going to end it. This is the book of Matthew 24, and I'm going to start at verses 7. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There go your civil war and your world wars. And there should be famines and pestilence, which is pretty much on the horizon, and earthquakes in divers places. And all these are the beginning of sorrows, man. All right, so anyway, I'm going to end it there, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Lord, will you edify it to the next lesson. Shalom.